Sports injuries can be an athlete's worst nightmare, especially in the case of Grandview athlete Evan Lynn. I heard bits of his story before, but I decided to go directly to him and finally get the full story. I started by asking him how many injuries he's had and what sports he played.
I was injured in volleyball my freshman year, and in wrestling my sophomore year, and in wrestling my junior year. Freshman year, right before the first practice, we were just warming up, and I went and I blocked a shot, and I landed on a guy's foot. I sprained my ankle, and I missed about the first half of the season there. My sophomore year, I sprained my ankle also. In wrestling, it was the exact same ankle, my left ankle, and so I was just doing a warm-up. I was doing the little side shuffles, and I rolled over my ankle because I didn't put on tape that day. I figured my ankle was strong enough, and it was not. And my junior year, before I got any matches whatsoever, I got a concussion, and that I had to miss the whole season for. We were just warming up, and I had a guy pinned on the ground, and then another group of kids, he accidentally picked up a guy and threw him down and hit his knee on my head.
Injuries don't just leave a physical scar, but they can also leave an emotional one. For Evan, being injured as much as he had, I started to wonder how that affected him emotionally.
It definitely was really hard emotionally because I couldn't work, I couldn't lift, I couldn't do any of my hobbies, and I got super behind on schoolwork that I'm still catching up on. I obviously waited since last season, you know. I was excited to do a little better because my sophomore season kind of sucked because I came in halfway through the season, and it was my first season, so I just had to go against these seasoned players. And so I was like, all right, I'm coming back junior year, and so I was thinking about it the whole off season, and I was lifting for it, and then I couldn't do any of it. Like right before the first match, I got my concussion.
I, of course, had to ask Evan how the staff of Grandview dealt with these injuries.
Coaches were helpful, and all 3 years, the trainers were beyond helpful. I more than love Pops and Miss Manning there, some of the best adults in the building. So Manning dealt with both of my ankles, and then Pops did the concussion. And so did Miss Manning. They both did the concussion.
After my chat with Evan, he told me to talk to Miss Manning or Pops about how they dealt with not only his injuries, but every other Grandview athlete's injuries as well. I decided to speak with Miss Manning about her job besides just being a science teacher.
Well, I guess as an athletic trainer after school, me and Scott Learned, we assess injuries, we can help manage and treat them and do rehabilitative exercises and modalities in the training room. As far as like the day goes and how each individual teacher would handle it, I'm not 100% sure. I know that for injuries like concussion, we send out communication to the nursing staff and they send communication to the teachers.
Last but not least, the most important question I asked Miss Manning was how the training staff help to prevent future injuries. Specifically, if there are any protocols or certain warm-ups or cool-downs that can be utilized to prevent injuries from happening in the first place.
Injury prevention is a big part of one of the domains of our job as an athletic trainer. Is we want to try to minimize and decrease the risk of injury. Some things that we do is converse with the coaches about their warm-up and cool-down plans, and just kind of educate students and parents about stuff. Like we've gone to some of those initial team meetings at the start of the seasons, and I've made multiple presentations about what are the most likely injuries for the sport, what can we do to help avoid those things as well.
This has been Tate reporting for GVTV.